This is Laura Sanchez, and this is episode 3 of Equine Travels with Laura, a weekly series that we're having every Monday morning that I talk about whatever's on my mind with horses. This week I'll be planning on talking to you about Easy Blue Renegade's birth. And there's so much to say, I have a feeling it's not going to be a very short episode this week, so sorry about that, but to me it's worth telling the story. Rennie's mama is Dachshund Speckled Rock, Haley. And I got her when she was 2 years old, and she had been abused. And so she's never been really a trustworthy girl, though she has a big heart, and she wants so much to be able to love. And so I feel very bad for her. And so I had her for 6 years, and it really wasn't quite working out. And she's so well bred. She's bred to EasyJet, and she's so well stocked with racing quarter horses on one side, and then reining and cutting horses on the other, on her bottom side, that I really wanted to make an athletic sport pony. And so I looked around, and I was really just plain old lucky. At Sugarbrook Farms, they had a small 11-hand stallion named Blue who is the son of Blue Rain. And both Blue Hoo and Blue Rain are the top hunter pony breeding stallions for the United States Equestrian Federation for years. So the thing about Blue Hoo is that he was supposed to be bred for a really good sweet mind. And so that was the daddy. Well, Dr. Zimmerman, Haley's mom, or Haley's vet, didn't think Haley was going to be a very good candidate. So Haley was sent down to Kentucky. She spent her days getting ready to be bred, and then most of her pregnancy in Paris, Kentucky, where Secretariat used to live, and that was really special. So then she came home in November of 2007, and that's when Dr. Zimmerman said that I better get ready, because he really didn't think that Haley was going to be a good mom, that he thought for sure that she actually might kill her baby, that she was such a kind of a not trusting girl. But I knew in my heart that Haley would be a good mama. And so he said to get her ready, and so what I did is I made a stick full, like the kind you'd ride. And when she came home, she had thistles in her hair and her mane and tail from her life out in Paris, Kentucky, 70-acre pasture. And that's when I realized, hey, here's some Scottish thistle in my wild mare's mane, and she's pregnant with this foal. It's going to be a good thing. And so we babied her over the last few months and gave her a really fat, heavy diet and whatever she wanted. And we got the straw that was needed for her bedding. And I used to sing to Rennie every day, even though he was in the womb. And I would give her light exercise so she'd be ready. And before he was born, I used to call him Nitro. That was his little nickname, Little Nitro. One day when I went out to the barn to lunge her a little bit, give her some exercise, she laid down and she looked so uncomfortable. And when I called Dr. Zimmerman, he said that he thought the baby was moving around in the womb. So that was a big deal. Anyway, you can imagine I was kind of watching very closely. And so in the days leading up to the birth, in the weeks really, the family that owned the farm where we were boarding at, the Hintz family, they were so kind. They let me sleep at night in their show trailer so that I could check on Haley. I really wanted to be there at the birth. But Rennie wanted to come on his own time, so he was 17 days overdue, which I know is not uncommon for a maiden mare. But anyway, he was born at 2:46 a.m. on May 3rd, and he was due on April 17th. And some other important dates in his life are that he was weaned on September 4th at 10:30 a.m. He was inspected to join his little sport club on September 27th, and then he was backed for the first time on July 22nd in 2010 at 2:45 p.m. But anyway, the night he was born, I was getting up every hour and checking on Haley, and it was a rainy and stormy night. It was like the last day of finals, and the semester was over, and it was just horrible. And it was the day of the Kentucky Derby. So I got up and I went to the stall, and my usual routine was I like to go in and take a look at Violet in her stall, and she was always laid out, sprawled out like a princess, snoring, and she looked so cute. And I would go and check Haley, and Haley would be restless. And I thought it would be like that. I kind of gave up on thinking there ever was really even a foal in there. He was so overdue. But this time when I went on there, I saw little hooves, and I could hardly believe it. I couldn't even process what it was all about. And then suddenly it occurred to me, even though I prepared everything, I'd been reading like an academic would, and I got the bucket for the placenta, and I got all the medical supplies you might need, and I got, the little betadine to wash his little, the umbilical cord and all of that stuff. Even though I was totally ready, I realized, great, now what are you going to do? What if she needs help? You don't know anything. But luckily for me, everything was perfect. It went really well. She gave birth to him really quickly, and when I saw him for the very first time, he was born against the back of the stall, and he just, he was moving around. I remember he was moving his little head, and he was just kind of like trying to get over being born. And his little head, to me, he looked like a dinosaur, because his little jaws were so flat, and his head was so flat, so he could get out of his mama. And his mama was laid out flat. I thought, oh my God, Haley's dead. So I opened the stall door, and I felt bad for her, because she jumped up lickety-split, and bam! She cracked that barn door, or stall door, or stall wall so hard. She was letting me know, everything's fine, I'm taking care of my baby. And so that's when I realized that I wasn't going to be able to do the little magical wipe his nose and bond with him. But it hardly mattered, because over the course of time, he and I really already did all that we needed to do to be bonded. But anyway, here's the thing I think is really cool. You have to meet Rennie to appreciate this. In the horse world, there's this 1, 2, 3 rule. And so a horse should be able to stand, or the foal should stand within the first hour, and nurse within the second hour, and then pass the meconium within the third hour. And that's kind of the rules for a healthy delivery, 1, 2, 3. And so this all is supposed to take about 3 hours. And so here's my little guy. He did all of that in 45 minutes. And let me tell you, I was nervous. So I saw him thrashing around in the hay, trying to get himself up, and he was struggling so mightily. And then I was really mad at myself, because Haley used to eat the straw like popcorn. And so the stall floor was kind of slicked up from the birth, and there really wasn't that much straw in there, because Miss Thing had been eating it like popcorn. But he managed to figure out how to get up, even though the floor was a little slick and there wasn't enough straw. And that was good. And then he wanted to kiss his mama. And I got worried then, because he's up at her nose, being like he is all the time, and he's kissing her and nuzzling her and checking her out and looking all proud and perky. And she's squealing at him and stomping her feet. Squeal and stomp, stomp, stomp. And I was worried that she was going to stop him, that she would really hate him and spit on him or something. But what she was trying to tell him was, dude, there's plenty of time for kisses and hugs. You need to get on my udder. And so she directed him over to nurse, and then he started nursing. And then not long after that, he passed his meconium. And so all of that happened in 45 minutes. It was the most amazing thing. 45 minutes from his birth. Getting up, drinking, saying hello to his ma, and passing the meconium. It was really, really terrific. Okay, so what else? Okay, so Haley. Here's some things about Rennie, I guess, and I'll tell you about Haley. Rennie was lively, sweet, and engaged from the very first second I laid eyes on him. He was sweet and kind to everyone. He would get up in people's grill. He would want to kiss them. He would want to be touched. He was a delight from the very beginning. And he was easy to handle. He let me be, he let me be with him, just like his mama. And that he was just so cute. I would go there and see him in the morning, and we would do little kind of things together. I'd set up cones for him, and I gave him a bouncing ball once, and he played soccer with it and rolled around with it. He was so cute. And then another thing that was cute about him is that he used to drink when he was drinking from his mother. And to let her know that she had done a good job, after he was done nursing, he would turn around and put his rump underneath her and start bucking, so that his little butt would hit up under her udders just to say, good job, Ma, good job. So he was really just the cutest thing. Sometimes I'd go to the stall and he'd be curled up like a kitten, and if he was feeling too cozy and tired, he would let me sit down next to him and pet his little plump butt, and his butt at the time had the baby hair, so it was like all curly and beautiful. And he'd look at me through his long lashes. Okay, so then hear about Haley as a mom. Yes, Haley was a stern mom, and sometimes she was a little tougher on him than I thought she should be. Well, that's because I'm a softie. But, she did defend him when she thought I was going to hurt him. She was very good about saying she's the mama. And she was really good about saying, first things first, get on the udder, make sure you're okay, and then you can be my little baby. And she always, always stood over him when he slept. She took such good care of him. She used to roar like a stallion. Oh my gosh, would she get mad when we'd take him out of the stall and he would leap ahead and bound ahead, and she didn't want to wait. She would get all nervous about being even separated from by a few feet. And the first time that they were let out together, He ran around like a nut. I cannot tell you what a good little runner he was for his very first time. He was just jetting around the arena. Jetting. Flying like a flash. And he ran his little mama ragged. He was nothing but a slip of nothing, of dust. And he would just run and run and run. And Haley was trying to keep up with him. She was trying to be a good cow pony. And so it was really fun. I'm telling you, those first few days were the very best days ever. And what do I have to say about this as a punchline? I can tell you that Rennie, Easy Blue Renegade, was perfectly himself from the very first moment of his life. He has been nothing but a delight. And he's been hilarious and funny and sweet. So if you ever have the opportunity, I'm telling you, and you want to have a midlife crisis, I think you should make a sport pony. It's been the best. Someday I think I'll tell you, probably even the next episode, about Rennie's trip for his inspection. Thank you for joining us this week. I know it was kind of a long one. You take care.